Don't be a loser.
For the love of God.
I'm Stephanie,
I'm Helen
and welcome to this podcast of today.
today.
And as always, little housekeeping item, make sure to hit the follow button and let us know what you think in the comments.
Yes.
And speaking of comments, I had a follower, and I'm going to read it the way they wrote it just because I don't want to, misquote. But they said, Endless Eon, reminder 13 countries voted for forcing the Taliban to stop treating women like animals, and 2 countries voted against it, Israel and the US.
Where? Where's the proof
Well,
for that?
I did write back and say there's no verified evidence that the US and Israel voted against trying to force the Taliban to stop abusing women. In reality, both countries have publicly opposed Taliban restrictions on women in international forums.
Yeah, and who are the countries that did vote against it? So again, a moron with no real credible evidence saying things just because they want to make the US look bad. Yeah, and
Right.
they get their talking points. I don't have my own brain, so I'm just going to repeat what other people tell me because I'm a loser. And now I feel cool because I said something on the keyboard. Yeah, you're awesome, retard. Yeah. It's like,
I
yeah.
thought you might have something to say about that. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, it's like fine. Then what vote was that? What
Mhm.
what governing body was that? Like, where did it happen? When did it happen? We'd love to know
Mhm.
that. Would love to know that.
Right.
So yeah, so if you have more info, then share it. Idiot. Don't just say, oh yeah, US bad. Yeah. Go home, go cry in your mom's basement.
Well, and then they didn't respond.
They didn't respond.
No.
Of course not, because they're too busy having their mom make them Pop-Tarts and drinking diet soda because they think that's going to make them healthy and lose weight. I'm gonna drink Diet Coke because that's going to help me lose weight. 0 calories. Yeah, good. Drink the poison because that's all that is. And eat your Pop-Tart because that's all pure, gross, natural chemical sugar crap. Awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you can come up with other really cool comments to share with us because I actually want to know what they are so we can read them on the air. Perfect. So thank you,
Yeah.
loser.
And I did want to say that TSA callouts are significantly higher during the shutdown since the mid-February, and unpaid workers are a major reason. The
Hmm.
situation isn't identical nationwide. It's a result of weeks of missed pay and ongoing strain and just one paycheck.
Yeah. And why is that? Because the liberals, the Democrats, want illegals to have all the same rights and protections as US citizens. They want to be able to vote. Why do Democrats want illegals to vote? Because that's the only way they can win. They've lost a lot of their base, and so they need to manufacture a new base. And how do they do that? By bringing in illegal immigrants who are then dependent on all of our overly generous and completely unnecessary entitlement programs, which should not be called entitlement programs. Nobody's entitled to them. Nobody's entitled to my tax dollars, but that's what they call them. And so, hey, you get free stuff. You're going to keep voting for the people who give you the free stuff because that's how you get a slave mentality and a
Right.
victim mentality and the mentality of just not being a productive member of society, which I don't know why we would want people like that in our country.
Right.
Come
Right.
here legally, get a job, learn language, be productive. You need some help? Great, there's help there. But don't be
Hmm.
a parasite.
Yep. Say it louder for people in the back.
I can if I get me a megaphone.
We had a follower write in on a topic and they said, I'm
Oh
just
God.
going to quote it because it's pretty awesome. Podcast thought, I dare the libs to lip off to ICE agents at the airport now. FAFO.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That's great. That's a great comment. Yeah, seriously. I mean, they have ICE agents at the airports to help with moving things along through TSA,
Hmm.
security, and God bless them for all the things they have to endure from all these nut jobs.
It is terrible. It is
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
And we had another follower comment via message.
Oh, wow. A lot
Hmm.
of
They
activity.
said, yes, I am a staunch, diehard party line Republican, and one of my absolute favorite politicians is Senator John Fetterman,
Yes.
a Democrat senator from Pennsylvania. He's a John F. Kennedy Democrat, meaning by today's standards, he's a Republican. The man has common sense and he speaks his mind. The other Democrats only speak their mind. It is my prediction that he will be ousted by his own party and join the Republicans.
Quite possibly. I remember when he was elected and people
Mm-hmm.
were like, how did he get elected? It was just so weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, when he made it to Congress and he started voting on things, he started saying stuff, and it's like, wait, you understand, that that's not your party's, stance on that. And they were like, oh, how could you say that? And he's like, because I have my own brain. He's like, I can think for myself. He goes, I know what's right and I know what's wrong, and I know that this is not right. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so kudos to him for not being afraid to, speak his mind, really put his views out there and not check the little note card to say, oh, is this what we believe in this week? What are my talking points for this subject? Because I can't think
Right.
for myself. So, yeah, so that was pretty amazing of him. And he's been, I've been really surprised by
Mm-hmm.
by him, which I'm happy about because it's been a good surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll take some of those these days, huh?
Yeah, yeah, the good ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Delta Airlines did suspend special VIP style services for members of Congress during
Good.
the recent government shutdown. It includes things like airport escorts, skipping lines, expedited handling, special rebooking or upgrade assistance. And the lawmakers are now treated more like regular passengers,
They should have always
generally
been
based
treated
on their
that way. They're
normal.
not special.
Right, right. So
Mhm.
kudos, Delta, and I bet more will step up.
Yeah, I'm actually flying Delta in a couple of months, like a month
Ah,
and a half to go
okay.
to go someplace in Montana. So,
Oh,
yeah. So that'll
okay.
be nice. Yeah, I used to fly Delta all the time when I worked at HP, in
Mm-hmm.
domestic. I loved Delta. Oh my gosh,
No,
it was so great. So I'm looking forward to flying them again,
there you go. There
especially
you go.
now.
Are you going to Montana for work or for fun?
Work.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I've got a little bit of an off-site meeting there.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun too, but it's
Yeah.
yeah.
What city will you be in or cities?
I don't
Do
even
you know yet?
know. I
Okay.
just know I'm going.
That works.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Because
not
Cindy
a
lives in Montana, is why I
Yeah,
asked.
I'm
Yeah.
not an aficionado in Montana.
Hmm.
But I will find out and I will let you know.
Okay. Perfect. And let's see what else. A Democrat senator did block the pay freeze for Congress during the shutdown, and it was Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts.
Mm.
He blocked an effort by Senator Rick Scott to pass a bill that would have stopped lawmakers from being paid if they failed to fund the government.
So wait,
So he blocked the pay freeze. So a Democrat did. So another one who stood up to do the right thing.
no, if he blocked a pay freeze, that means
Mhm.
he stopped the pay freeze from happening.
For the congressman, right?
But that means that means they're going to get paid. Rick Scott
Eh?
wanted the wanted Congress to not get paid. And
Well,
the
talk about misreading. You know, we're
Yeah,
not doing
because
this
I was like,
scripted.
Massachusetts, I'm from Massachusetts, and let me
That's,
tell you, no one from Massachusetts is going to do that because
yeah.
they're too ingrained in their whole stupidity over there. So yeah, no, the Massachusetts guy stopped the
Ah,
pace freeze from happening, is what I'm hearing you
okay.
say. So
Okay.
yeah, so Congress is going to get paid even though they're not doing their job.
Rules for thee, but not for me,
Yeah, yeah,
yet again.
yep. Ugh.
Even when I mess up a headline or
That's
the
okay.
understanding of it.
That's why we're together. Yeah, I can help you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Balance, baby.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I was like, that's okay. That's good. Because
Yeah.
the way you said it was like, wow. And I'm like,
That's how I was interpreting it. I was like, that's
yeah,
great.
no, it's just the way they wrote it was nice and misleading and
Hmm.
word jumble.
Well,
It was like Kamala wrote that headline.
where we've been is where we're going and where we'll stay.
Oh my gosh.
And the only thing that'd be better is if this were some alcohol instead of a protein water. Never
Oh,
claim to be perfect. Just
yeah.
claim to try to tell the truth and well, not try, but tell the truth and
Well, the
essentially it.
important thing is that you wanted the right thing to happen. You wanted them to not get paid.
Right.
And so you were excited about that, but the
Yeah.
way they wrote it was very misleading. So
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, but no. So yeah, so Massachusetts yet again
Hmm.
nailing the coffin on democracy and the republic that our country is.
Right.
Oh, I need to plug in my laptop,
Oh,
so
okay.
bear with me.
All right. Call this a commercial break and I'm
I
doing some
know,
hand
right?
movements. Commercial break, commercial break. See the commercial break.
All right, there we go.
It's like Muzak.
Oh, sorry about that. I
Let's see
didn't
if it
realize
works.
how
You're
low
kind of
my
frozen.
laptop was, but there we go.
All right. How did that do us? All right, there
All
we
right.
go. That's okay. It was like frozen, and I'm like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
we're getting charged, but we're frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So something else I saw that I was shouldn't be surprised at, but I was surprised at. A lot of people had things to say about Chuck Norris's death.
Oh, that was so sad. I love him.
I mean, he was an action hero. I feel like everyone has seen his movies and
He
thought,
was
you
an
know what,
American hero.
awesome.
He was like G.I. Joe. He was, greatest American hero. And yeah, I loved his movies, loved him, loved what he stood for. Everything that he did was with morality and positivity, patriotism. I mean, he was just so amazingly cool. Yeah.
Physical fitness, being
Oh yeah.
healthy. He was
Yeah.
funny. I saw this one clip of him. He was lifting this weight, and it had, I don't know, like five plates on each time on each side. He was like, just warming up, just warming
Yeah.
up. And it
I
was
saw
like
that.
crazy
He's
amount of
so
weight.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love him. And yeah, I don't know anybody who can say anything negative about him, but leave it to a mentally ill liberal. They'll come up with something.
Would you like me to read a couple comments that I saw or skip
Yeah.
them?
Just skip
Skip
them
them.
because they're not worth it.
I mean, they are pretty crappy comments.
Yeah, I mean, because they're gonna the same thing they said about Charlie Kirk, the same things they say about Trump, the same things they say about anybody who's different from them. You
Hmm.
know, and you know what? Let the guy rest in peace. He's just done nothing wrong. He had children's programs. He was promoting wellness and health and fitness. He was a big fan of, promoting patriotism. He loved the United States. He was just always such a positive person.
Hmm.
I don't need to hear what some moron who has pink and purple striped hair and piercings all over their hideously ugly face, while they're eating a McDonald's cheeseburger at their obesity. Talk about this guy. They can just go in the corner. I don't care. I don't need to hear from you. And I'm not
With their
going to.
diet.
So no, I don't need to hear from anybody because, Chuck Norris was awesome. And, they're just jealous because when Chuck Norris did a push-up, he actually just pushed the earth down.
How am I supposed to go from that to a serious topic? I'll
Well,
have to do my music thing
I
again
know, I
to
was gonna say you'll
change the
maneuver it.
mood.
Yeah, let me help you.
There you go. Yeah, you're better at it. I like it.
It's my limber arms.
I'm going to
My
skip the next topic.
skinny limber arms.
Exactly. With muscle.
Yes.
I'm going to go out of order because still the
Okay.
one I was going to talk about next deserves some respect.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
did you know Kristen Cabot? She did go viral in 2025 after being caught on that kiss cam with her boss at
Oh,
that Coldplay
yeah,
concert.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Another
She
Massachusetts genius.
Well, she recently gave an interview with Oprah Winfrey on Oprah's podcast, and she spoke about the viral scandal and the backlash. She described harassment, threats, and career damage. She explained her side of the story and circumstances around the incident, which I have to wonder, why is that podcast newsworthy? Does anyone care?
No one cares. You keep bringing it up because you love the attention. Again, showing a whore mentality. Why are you married with your married boss at a concert with his arms around you and you guys are like dancing? What circumstance could you use other than what our eyes, and I have big eyes, are showing us?
Right,
I'm
right.
not, she's a joke. Yeah, you love the attention. That's why you keep bringing it back. And I
Hmm.
don't feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for the spouses and I feel sorry for the kids. I don't feel sorry for either one of them because neither one of them has accepted responsibility. They're pointing fingers at everybody else. You are the two that were there like this. Woo, let's dance. I want you to do it. Give me a break.
Right,
You know what
right.
you're doing.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
Oprah, big whoop-de-doo. I mean, she's so pathetic at this point. Why are you giving her airtime? There's no one better. Why don't you interview go do some real research and journalism and go to Nigeria and find out why those Christians are getting murdered every day, why
Hmm.
they're getting set on fire, why the girls are getting kidnapped and raped and murdered, why they're being turned into sex slaves. But no, she can't do that. She
Right,
has to find out a story from over a year ago just to bring to her podcast. Why?
right.
Pathetic.
Hmm.
She's a
I
horrible
agree.
person. I don't care. What's going on with that? She had that school in Africa. What happened to all those girls? A bunch of the girls are missing. Where are they? What is
Hmm.
she doing with those girls? What happened to that school? Yeah, I don't need to hear anything from her. She's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Well, and another disgusting topic, I'm not sure if you heard about this one. There was an 18-year-old freshman at Loyola University
Yes.
in Chicago, Sheridan Gorman, which is a really cool name. She was shot and killed in while walking with friends near campus. And the police say a gunman approached the group and opened fire, and she was shot in the head and died at the scene.
Yep. Horrible.
The suspect that has been charged, Jose Medina, is a 25-year-old Venezuelan national charged with first-degree murder and related gun charge.
Yeah, was he here legally? No, he was an illegal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Kamala. Thank you, every single horrible Democrat. This is why we need to have borders. This is why we need to support ICE. This is
Mhm.
why we need to get our heads out of our asses and really understand what is happening in this country. They're not going after the farmers who are helping pick the strawberries. Get over yourself. They're going after the criminals. Why are you
Right.
protecting them? Why are these liberals protecting these criminals, these rapists, these murderers, these assaultists, these disgusting pedophiles? Why are
Mhm.
they supporting them and defending them? Oh, yeah, because they are them. They are exactly the same. Disgusting.
I mean, I just think
That poor
18-year-old
family,
with
that
her
poor
whole life ahead of
girl.
her.
Yeah, no.
uh,
And not who's talking about it. I don't think anyone at CNN is making a big story about it. I don't see any protests for her. I don't see anyone burning in buildings and cities and towns over her. No,
right.
no, they're not. You know why? Because they don't care. It didn't fit the narrative. So, yeah.
Sadly, to your point, I saw one comment online, social media,
Mm.
with say her name, and it was my friend who posted it.
Yeah, that was awesome of your friend. Yeah,
Hmm.
no, just disgusting, 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 because that's what they are. They're horribly mentally ill, retarded people.
Well, so
Yeah,
so sad. So
yeah.
I'm so sad for her and her family.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, it's disgusting. It's really horrible what happened to her. And it's going to keep happening. It's happening all the time. It's happening every day, but they don't want to talk about it because It doesn't fit the narrative. And for some reason, they want to keep pedophiles, murderers, rapists, and, just criminals in general out on the streets within our
Right.
country. I don't understand that.
Well, there was a Catholic church in Marquette University that was vandalized. Police
Yes.
arrested a suspect. It's still under investigation, but
Let me guess.
yeah, I
Hmm.
couldn't think what happened potentially.
No, no.
No.
I wonder who did that. Mm,
Yeah.
hmm. Let's let me think. Let me think.
Hmm.
Let me think. Oh yeah, I know who did that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But they can't say that because they don't want to offend the lowest class of people out there.
Right.
Just
Right.
thing again, you know, if somebody did that to a mosque, we wouldn't hear the end of it. But because it was a church, that's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Do whatever you want.
We don't know what it was about.
No, no, no.
Under
I don't know
investigation.
anything. I don't know.
Right.
Let me see. Oh, nothing to see here. Nothing to see
Right.
here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Another topic, medical workers have been arrested and abused for treating protesters in Tehran. So I don't know if you've been seeing that.
Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised. You didn't have to tell me. I know that's happening. Of course it's happening.
It's terrible.
Of course it is. It's an Islamic country. What do you think is good?
To me, though,
You think good was going to come from there?
I'm so used to and spoiled by Americans just watching, TVs and movies where criminals get care in hospitals because they're supposed to care for the patient. And then someone who's caring for a patient is getting abused.
Well, first of all, they're not criminals. They're protesters. They're protesting a
Right, true,
tyrannical,
but I mean,
horribly unjustifiable
mhm,
government. And
mhm,
because they are protesting that government, they are being targeted, and they're being hurt, they're being killed, they're being raped, they're being tortured, they're being everything. So some of them go to the hospitals for treatment. And so now the hospital workers who are doing their jobs are being targeted, they're being raped, they're being murdered, their families are being threatened, all because of the name of Islam. Give me a freaking break. If that's your religion, you can go to hell with that religion because that's where you belong.
well, and to clarify, I meant if they're in hospitals when they treat criminals, then they're just treating protesters, which, we're also used to having a right to peacefully protest. I have no problem with anyone peacefully protesting. It's
Yeah, but
when there's
they don't
violence.
have that right.
Right.
Not in
It's
that
just
country.
so, right. It's just so foreign, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like,
Well,
I'm so spoiled.
That's why Americans do not understand what is really happening around the world. They think
Hmm.
every country is like this one. They're
Right.
not.
No.
The people that are protesting in these other countries are literally putting their lives on the line, which not one of these American liberal protesters would actually do for a cause they believe in because they don't really believe in anything. They're just
Hmm.
told what they believe in, and they're like, okay, I'm an idiot and I don't have my own brain, so I'm going to believe you. So, no, but these are real people who are fighting for what they truly believe in, which is a
Hmm.
real cause, not a made up first world country
Right.
cause, which is totally fiction because you don't have anything else to do with your life because everything else in your life is easy. So you have to make up a problem. But no, these people are real and they are being targeted and it's horrible and it's sad. And I cannot wait oh my God, it's so sad whenever you hear of all of these people that are getting murdered, getting killed, they're getting raped, oh my, the families are being threatened for
Yes.
what? Because they want to have a country that they actually are believe in, that they respect the government, that they have freedoms, that they have
Hmm.
rights, that women don't have to worry about if their headscarf is on or not the right way, that the morality police is going to come round them up and beat them, for
Hmm.
showing a little bit of hair, because apparently men in Iran or in Islam itself don't understand that just because you see some hair doesn't mean that it's a turn on to you.
Right.
It's like, what is wrong with you? Yeah.
Yes.
You don't understand that, then I don't know how you function every day. But then again, look at the country. It's a disaster. So hopefully the protesters keep getting the support that they need. I know that Trump is still supporting them. I know that the United States is still supporting them. I know they have a lot of supporters in this country and around the world. And I hope that they do get the government that they want.
Right.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
And another headline that's a direct contrast. There's a man named, I'm sure I'm going to mess it up, but Nasdir Tate was involved in a fatal subway altercation in New York City, and
Hmm.
he allegedly punched a 55-year-old man who later died after hitting his head.
Yeah.
And this case is ongoing. Things could change, but look at the difference between that and Daniel Penny.
Well, the guy got a ticket. He got a misdemeanor ticket. And
Mhm.
Daniel Penny got arrested. They tried to put him away for the rest of his life because he stopped someone from killing somebody.
Right,
And then he ended up killing the bad guy. Thank you. Thank you for
right,
doing that. I don't know why we
right.
have to protect bad guys so badly, but okay. But this guy can punch, kill a guy, not a big deal, gets a ticket. So he's free to go do it again. Awesome, New
Mhm,
York. You're so cool, New York. You guys, it's so disgusting. It's so sad what's happened to New York City. It's
mhm.
pathetic that people are accepting this in New York City. Really? This is okay to you? You live there and you're like, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, people can just go kill other people, not a big deal. Cool, man. Yeah. Unless you're white, then you have to go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in a meeting today, just reminded me, and the guy I was meeting with was talking about a paper his brother had written.
Hmm.
Where did they go to school? I don't want to say it and give it the wrong name, but it was somewhere here in Florida.
Okay.
And the instructor was a very woke
Well,
Black woman who thought that if you weren't Black and a woman, you were garbage. So this gentleman's brother, who probably was white because he was, I'm just assuming,
yeah.
wrote about how he should have everything taken away from him. It should be given to Black women, and went on and on and on. And he got an A on the paper.
Of course he did.
Yeah. But I said, how sad that you have to play that game instead of
Well, that's
being
what it is in college and a lot of universities. You have to tell the professor what they want to hear because if you don't, they will fail you.
right.
That's why college is a joke. It's going to university, going to college is not the same as it used to be. It is an absolute joke. It's a breeding ground for wokeism, for every mental illness that you can think of is there. So I tell my son all the time, like, I don't care if you go to college, I'd rather you become an entrepreneur. You don't need to do that, go to college. You don't need to go to college to do that at all. I said, all
Right.
you need to do is find really strong mentors, which you can do.
Hmm.
Take some college classes on business if you want. Sure. Accounting, yeah. The law, things like that, but you do not need to go to college. Joke.
It's a sad thing. And also, I want to highlight that as no disrespect to Black women. Of course, I love women and Black people are great.
We're talking about this one person who
Hmm.
who's woke, who's a professor
Hmm.
somewhere for some godforsaken reason,
Hmm.
and is using her position to intimidate the students to think her
Hmm.
way. Otherwise, they
She'll
won't
feel
do
them.
well in her course.
Right.
So yeah, and and yeah, so I'm not going to apologize or say anything. If that's not obvious, then that's not my problem.
True. But I did just have a conversation with a dear friend that, she felt like our podcast made it seem like we were racist, even though
I
she
don't
knew we
care.
weren't.
That's your friend. That's your problem, not mine, because we're not. And I
Yeah.
really don't care.
Yeah.
It's my
Well, and
opinion
the
that matters to me.
the racist comment has been so
I
overused
don't care.
that it's just like
Call me
I know
that.
I'm not.
Whoop-de-doo-da-day. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Big deal.
Right.
It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And I'm being quite honest. I know she's your friend and she's a very lovely person, but I don't care about her opinion. It's like
Yeah.
it means nothing to me. Now,
And you're allowed. That's fair.
yeah, yeah,
Because you know why? We're in America.
Yes, and we can have different opinions and we
and
different
still
points of
be
view
friends.
and still
Yes.
be friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this topic I really love, as I just talked about, loving women and girl power. And I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce it, but it's the Gulabi Gang, and there is a 2012 documentary about it. It's a woman-led activist group in India,
Mm.
and it was founded in 2006 by, I'm going to mispronounce her name too, but looks like Sampat Paul Devi. And Gulabi, which I'm sure I'm butchering, means pink. And members of this organization wear bright pink saris.
Oh, nice.
They're often called vigilante group, but they also function as a social justice movement. They help marginalized people, especially women. They help women who have been abused domestically, sexual assault cases, forced child marriage, corruption by police or local officials, and discrimination against lower castes.
Mm.
And they step in when authorities fail to act. And I think that is amazing.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
See, that is what a real
Mm-hmm.
problem is.
Mm-hmm.
This is their solution. This is
Mm-hmm.
where women are truly being treated unjustly, where there
Mm-hmm.
is a problem, where men are being totally domineering, that disrespectful, they're abusive, they
Mm-hmm.
don't respect women, they view women as property and they're less than men. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this group of women standing up for other
It's
women and
amazing.
helping them and that's awesome. All for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
all for that. But no, wait, am I a racist though? Because I like that, but I'm a white person. So am I thinking that I'm better than them because I'm not in that situation? I'm not sure.
I don't know the rules there. I don't know
But
the rules because
yeah,
I'm not racist.
no,
And
yeah.
I like to see
Uh,
women and
no,
women
I think that's
being
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah, I think that's a great organization.
Mm-hmm.
God bless them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing what they need to do because no one else is going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? They're helping lots of other women get out of bad situations.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, good for them. I think that's fantastic. Love it.
And we have a reel that there's a lot of comments on, and it's about school women, girls schooling in Afghanistan. And
Yes.
so many people will say things like, "Why don't they just rise up and do something?" And
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
go do that in an Islamic country, you retard.
I was like, I don't think it's that easy.
They can't
But
even leave the house without their whole body and face being covered. They're gonna rise up.
right, right,
They get murdered for just like smiling in the wrong. If a guy thinks that they're smiling at them and they're not the husband, they can get murdered.
right.
But yeah, go ahead and rise up. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds great, but
Geniuses. We have geniuses at work with that one. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, they're going to rise.
but we
And
need this gang to go over there.
yeah, exactly. And guess
Hmm
what? Women have tried to rise up in Afghanistan and they have been murdered. They have been silenced. They have been raped. They have been done everything to them to set examples to other women to not to do this.
Right.
Geniuses, real retarded idiots making those stupid comments. Why don't you go and rise up for them and see what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, you're real
awful.
tough.
So I think that's all I have for tonight. If there's any other topics that you wanted to cover before we sign off.
No, I think we did good for tonight. You know, we acknowledge the fact that we're both not racist. And
Check, check.
everyone's
I
good
gave a
with
CT
that,
check.
right? Yeah. Not that thought it needed to be explained, but
Yeah.
apparently so. Um, and then yeah, no, I think we did a good job. And I just want to still just bring light to the fact that even though it's not in the news anymore because the news goes in cycles and 1 minute it's hot and sexy for to talk about a topic and then it's not. But there are still the Christians in Nigeria are still being attacked. They're still being targeted. They're still being murdered. The women are still being kidnapped. They're still being raped. They're still being turned into sex slaves. They're still being burned alive. They are targeting the priests. They are targeting anybody who they're burning down the churches. So let's not forget that just because something else happened. because that's what the news wants you to do. They want you to forget
Right.
about that because this is now the thing they want you to focus on. And if the news wants you to focus on something, that's your clue that it's the wrong thing to focus on.
Something else is going on over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because it is very serious and still going on.
Yeah, and it's
And
also across the whole Middle East. Christians
yeah,
are getting murdered every day in the Middle East. They've been getting murdered daily for centuries. Since the invention of this made-up religion called Islam, they have been targeting Christians. And if they don't convert, they kill them. Or they make them pay a heavy tax. Or they kidnap the girls and they turn them into sex slaves or their wives. And they rape them, they murder them. So don't think that it's not happening. It is every single day. Christians are the number one persecuted group in the world. No one talks about it because we have so many, so many people are ashamed to even say that
right,
they're Christian because they're like, oh, it might be offensive to somebody. Good, offend somebody. Tell the truth. Stand up for the truth. And the truth is Jesus.
right,
And I'm never
right.
ever going to deny that. And that's why so many Christians are getting murdered and killed and raped and tortured because they are not afraid to tell the truth and to have cowards around the world be afraid to say it from the comfort of a country where nothing bad can happen to them. It's
Yeah.
pathetic, absolutely pathetic. So God bless all the Christians in the Middle East and in Africa and all over the world. And hopefully people start waking up and realizing that the persecuted religion that needs the most attention and help and support is the Christian religion.
Yes. I don't even know what to say. I'm glad you brought that up and it needs to be said.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
atrocious that
true.
it's going on.
It's true. It's
hmm
absolutely true. Media doesn't want to cover it
hmm
because it doesn't serve a purpose.
Right.
And so, you know, that's the reality of it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, on that sad note or heavy note, I will sign us out and looking forward to a positive, good week
Yes.
and some good things. And on that note, I will say, don't be a loser.
For the love of God.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Helen.
And until the next time,
Bye.
bye bye.